Welcome to another awards prediction show. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to dive into the SAG Awards and share my thoughts on who will be nominated at the upcoming SAG nominations, which are set to be announced on January 10th, with the award ceremony airing live on Netflix February 24th. Last year, we saw some surprises and snubs, including Stephanie Houzo getting a nomination for supporting actress, which carried over to the Oscars. And then, of course, Michelle Williams was left out. And an ensemble cast predictions for Knives Out and Women Talking. Both of those films were overlooked. This could be another fun year where we see some shocks and alls in several different categories. So today, I'm going to share my I'm going to share my predictions, and of course, maybe sprinkle in some surprises and who I think could potentially be just in a little bit, because the SAG Awards obviously voted on by your fellow actors. So this could always look a little bit different from what we see at the Academy Awards. But before we dive in, thank you guys so much for the continued support of the awards predictions here. You guys have been very interactive on the Oscar predictions, which we'll be updating those very, very, very soon. But without further ado, let's dive right into the supporting actor category. Now, we have a wide range of possibilities here. When you look at the surface, you probably have your locks in there with Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Gosling. Those two, I feel like you could lock that away and throw away the key. Now, this is where things could potentially get interesting, because you have the likes of Mark Ruffalo, Robert De Niro, Charles Melton, William Dafoe, Sterling K. Brown, and Dominic Sessa. Like, you have these guys fighting for three slots, right? You know what I mean? On one hand, you have Robert De Niro, the nostalgia, the history, The Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese film. On the other hand, you've got some veteran actors like Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, Sterling K. Brown, and then you got the newbies here with Charles Melton and Dominic Sessa. So, with that being said, who do I have as my five in? Right now, I've got Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, both for Poor Things, and then I got Charles Melton in for the fifth slot. So right now I have De Niro missing, Sterling K. Brown missing, Dominic Sessa missing as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Sterling K. Brown or Dominic Sessa shows up here. Robert De Niro either, but I'm going on a limb here and saying we're going to get a double Poor Things nomination, which that would be, again, so the five in for Best Film Supporting Actors in SAG: Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, and Charles Melton. Another insane, crazy category. We're going to move on to the Best Supporting Actress. So if you're locking the key away, I think you're looking at three people that you're really honing in here that I feel like are locks, right? So we're looking at Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. You're looking at Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer. I think those three are pretty much locked into their nominations here at SAG. However, where we go from here, the possibilities are endless. Penelope Cruz's name is popping up everywhere for Ferrari. You have American Ferrari for Barbie. You have Julianne Moore for May December. You have Taraji P. Henson for The Color Purple. You have Viola Davis for Air. Viola Davis is loved by her fellow actors, rightfully so, one of the greatest actresses of our time. And then, of course, Jodie Foster for Nyad. Now, for me, this seems to be like a very solid place for Viola Davis to get recognized for her performance in Air. But I have her on the outside looking in. And this is the one where I've kind of struggled back and forth, because I have that fourth slot narrowed down to like Jodie Foster or Penelope Cruz, with American Ferrera taking the fifth slot. So I struggle with who I have of those three in my final five. But we're going to lock it in right now. And who we're going to lock in: Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Daniel Brooks for The Color Purple, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, American Ferrera for Barbie, and then we're going to lock in Jodie Foster for Nyad in that fifth slot. All right, moving right along here to Best Film Actress, another heavy hitting category. Boy, these are some heavy. I think this is one of the good things about this year, is we have a lot of fruitful opportunities for some great performances to be recognized. To me, I feel like you can really lock the key away for these three. You have Emma Stone for Poor Things, Lily Gladstone for The Killers of the Flower Moon, and Carey Mulligan for Maestro. I think those three are locked in, right? Give me those three as secured slots. Now, Margot Robbie feels like she should be on that fence there. I think she is on the verge of a lock, and I'm going to put her in the 4 slot, right? So I'm putting her there. I have confidence in that 4. Okay. The 5th slot, it is a bloodbath between old, new, fresh faces, all of the above. Natalie Portman for May December's in the conversation. Greta Lee for Past Lives. Sanji Hooler for Anatomy of a Fall. Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple. Annette Bening for Naiad. Those 5 actresses are battling for that last slot. Me, I think I'm going to give the slight edge to Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple. So Fantasia, my number 5, Margot Robbie 4, Carey Mulligan 3, Lily Gladstone 2, Emma Stone for Poor Things coming in at number 1 there. So that's my nominations for Best Film Actress. Now, moving right along to Best Film Actor, another category that we could see go a variety of different ways, but I'd say here we're looking at 7 actors I really feel like we're honing in on with some locks. Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper for Maestro. To me, those are the 2 locks, okay? Soft locks, I'm going Coleman Domingo and Paul Giamatti. Now, this 5th slot is where it gets interesting. Do they give Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers the look? Do they give Leonardo DiCaprio for The Killers of the Flower Moon the look? Or do they go Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction? And to me, we're going Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, and we're going Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. That's my 5 for Best Film Actor. And to be honest with you guys, that could go any sort of way outside of Cooper and Murphy at that top spot, with Coleman Domingo sliding in at that 3rd, in my opinion, borderline lock role. Now, for the big category of the night, I've sprinkled in some surprises here. And again, a strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies, a strong 8 movies with a 9th that I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. Obviously, we have, let me just list those movies for you. Oppenheimer, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, The Color Purple, American Fiction, The Holdovers, Air. Those 8 films seem like they're competing for these 5 slots. Now, if you look at some of the other categories, we're going Cillian Murphy, we've got Emily Blunt, we've got Robert Downey Jr. Duh. Makes sense that we're going to have Oppenheimer in that top spot. We got them sliding it at number 1 right now. Okay, now I have Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera in for those 3 nominations. So we're going to slide Barbie right into the conversation. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting for me, right? We've got Emma Stone, William Dafoe, and Mark Ruffalo in. So we're sliding Poor Things into the conversation. So that's 3. Now, we've got Fantasia. We've got Danielle Brooks. Now we're talking Color Purple, maybe. Or The Holdovers. We've got Paul Giamatti in the conversation. The Killers of the Flower Moon. Does De Niro get in? Does DiCaprio get in? Of course, Gladstone's locked in. So there's another option here. American Fiction. Do they go Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown, allowing that to come in and possibly take the spot here? But I'm going to go for my 4th slot. I'm going The Color Purple, right? So I got The Color Purple locked in. I've got Color Purple, Poor Things, Barbie, Oppenheimer. Now this 5th slot, this one is me going out on a limb, me going out on my personal biasness, and a film that I wish everybody would see a lot more of, and I wish it was getting peppered with a lot more nominations, and that is The Iron Claw. Anybody that knows me knows that I love this film, and I believe that this film should be in the conversation for many, many, many awards, including Best Picture, Best Editing, Best Actor, Best Cinematography, Score. Like, all of these things should be in that conversation. So I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to predict that The Iron Claw is that 5th slot. So Oppenheimer, Barbie, The Color Purple, Poor Things, and The Iron Claw coming in at number 5. Those are my predictions for the upcoming SAG Awards that are just around the corner. Let me know in the comments where you think I got it right or where I got it wrong, or who do you think is going to be nominated for the upcoming SAG nominations. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next time.